Hey guys, I have tried so many times to get all of the technology and everything to work, and I'm not technologically literate, so this is the best I can do for right now. I swear I'll figure it out in the future. So if the audio is like shit, I'm so sorry. Yes, there was a little bit of a clapback. A lot of a clapback, actually. If you don't know, Dad Challenge Podcast, DCP, and Apoc have had a little bit of a feud going because of basically clout chasing. I am going to admit right up front that I am biased towards Apoc's side because I dislike a lot of the ways that DCP or Josh, I'm probably going to use both because DCP is kind of a pain to say. I don't particularly love a lot of the ways that he goes about breaking things down and analyzing them. I do also think that he has not been a super great commentary person in the past. And I do think that his bravado is unearned. Apoc released a video today called The Dad Challenge Podcast is Finished. And I'm excited for it. So let's go, bitch. Grab your premium beverages and let's go.
Get wrecked, you incel clown. So imagine avoiding a debate with me for weeks, just for this to be your first and only response to me, and then blocking me right after you send it, so that I can't respond back and you don't get embarrassed. What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite host and jealous hater Apoc, and welcome back to the channel. So over a month ago, I debunked DCP's entire slander campaign against me, where he pushed out a video with a very small handful of compiled clips that were extremely manipulated to look a certain way to fit his.
This is true. And basically the debunking video was not Apoc saying, I didn't say X, Y, and Z. It was him showing the full clip of what he said because truthfully, a lot of it was taken out of context.
We're taken way out of context. And I guess all this is in response to me apparently going after his family, which, by the way, he has no receipts for, but still told his rabid dogs that.
Here's the thing with this. My personal opinion is that if you're going to make a claim that somebody's going after your family and they're harassing you and all this stuff, that you should have evidence for that. If you're withholding evidence, I don't see why, because it seems like you're trying to protect the person that you're accusing. And because this interaction has been wholly online, there should be some sort of paper trail. It's not like this conversation happened in person and nobody was recording. These are DMs, videos back and forth, whatever. So there should be some evidence somewhere. But yet, it's nowhere to be seen. It's nowhere to be seen. I'm not going to make any judgments just yet, but let's just say, in my eyes, the claims that DCP are making against Apoc, they don't have evidence to support them that he's shown. And I can't imagine why he has not shown that evidence if he has it. So let's keep going.
That's what I did. I mean, one would think that if DCP had any sort of evidence to his claim, it would have been easily clipped out and showcased within his little video, and yet it wasn't. Coincidence? I think not. I mean, to be real, that would have been a great way to discredit me. It's just too bad I'm not like that. I'm not like him. I don't need to go after someone personally or push out their personal information to try to discredit them. I take their own words from their own content and use it as a weapon against them, which he tried to do the same with me, but utterly failed. It's a damn shame, too, that he's just so bad at what he does. But I guess it is true to what they say. Big ego, small brain. But anyways, I figured...
I'm just going to give like a little bit of my personal opinion on how I view DCP. In my community where I started in like commentary was on Twitter for a specific person, Acacia. If you haven't seen like all my other videos, I have videos on other people, but a lot of them are about her. So originally in my Twitter community, we were trying to get people to notice these bigger channels. We were trying to get them to take notice of the things that Acacia was doing because she was just flying under the radar. And eventually some big-ish channels like DCP and Sloan, I think, also made videos on Acacia. So just given that fact that like a bigger channel made a video, a lot of the people in my community had support for DCP without really watching any of his other content. It was just like, oh, somebody's finally listening to us. Like, the story is getting picked up. It's getting put out to a wider audience. There's awareness now. So, like, yay, we stand, whatever. I was not that interested in that because I just have opinions on things, and you can listen to them or not listen to them. You can watch them or don't watch them. Like, I just like to talk and I like to criticize things. I have a problem fundamentally with the things that Josh criticizes and also the manner in which he goes about criticizing those things. I think he has an air about him that's like an unearned bravado. I think that it's maybe a fake it till you make it kind of thing. I don't know. He does call himself the dad of YouTube, which is a prestigious term, no less. It does seem a little put on to me. I'm just going to be honest. It does seem a little put on. And I'd be lying if I said that, like, basically every other YouTuber doesn't put it on for the camera, because obviously you want to be engaging. That's fine. The thing that I have a problem with is that it seems a lot of times that DCP wants these gotcha moments, or these like bomb drops, or these like, I'm going to expose you and I'm going to be the first one to break the story, and like, I'm going to get all the accolades and, you know, all this stuff. It's kind of yucky, because if you're in it for clout, if you're in it for attention, you know, that is part of it. Like, I guess if you didn't want literally anybody to watch your video, you would just like make the video and then save it and never publish it. The attitude in which you make your videos is very important. I think that DCP has an unearned air of confidence about him that I'm not sure is conducive to his reputation. That's what I'll say. Let's keep going.
Since he threw out this hit piece on me that I again debunked entirely. But since he did all that, I figured it was time for my own version. But this time it will be done right. This time we will show him how it's really done in a master at work. Because you see, I don't need to take things out of context or manipulate anything. I'm just going to embarrass the fool. Okay, let's get him. So to begin,
Let's
DCP
get him.
and his fetus army love to push the narrative that I have said the most egregious things, the most heinous and disgusting things about women, and that he would never stoop to Apoc's level, my level, because the dad bod of YouTube has integrity. And yet, no matter how many times they tell themselves that, that does not make it a fact. 99.9% of that video was nothing
That's
but
true.
out of context manipulation and lies. Well, what about zooming in on Kira's butt? Yeah, that's old news. That's why my community was unfazed by the whole ordeal. At least the ones with a functioning brain.
Let me say about the zooming in on Kira's butt kind of thing. I personally, you know, maybe some people were offended by it. I'm sure they were, or they were like, hey, like, this is kind of, you know, weird or inappropriate or whatever. I personally didn't view it as like super objectifying Kira, although it could teeter on the line of being like inappropriate and maybe just like it didn't need to be in the video. It wasn't reducing Kira to her body. It wasn't critiquing her looks. It wasn't like focusing on something that Kira can't control in a negative or like positive way. It was like a very quick one-liner of him saying, you know, whatever, and like the zoom in. Also, the fact that he already took accountability for that, I'm kind of like, well, what else do you want from Apoc in this situation? Like, what else do you want him to do? Do you want him to delete this whole channel over that? Because I think that's an overreaction. I don't think that saying somebody has a nice butt is super awful. I just don't think that. I'm sure in certain contexts it could be taken that way if you're being overly enthusiastic about it. But that's really not what happened. So that's why I think that, you know, it was kind of like forgiven and forgotten, is because it wasn't a huge deal. Now, if you're looking for something to critique somebody on, you could make that a huge deal. But largely when the community of people watching don't agree with one person, you know, I don't want to use like the numbers fallacy and like the majority agree fallacy, but like if a lot of people are saying, okay, like, we forgive you, it wasn't that big of a deal, like, you know, it's all good, you're forgiven, you took accountability. I don't see what you're expecting to happen by like bringing that back up again, because people that know about that situation and were there for that situation and even commented and said like, hey, this isn't okay, they're gonna be like, bro, why are you bringing up like a 2 to 3 year old clip of one time where he said that Kira had a nice butt. You see what I mean by like the manner in which he goes about trying to achieve his goals is a little bit slimy. I don't respect it. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to pull punches. I don't respect that kind of critiquing because not only is it not constructive, it's not honest. You can make a mountain out of a molehill if you try hard enough. But you got to think about why you're making the mountain. You got to think about who's going to be climbing it.
And that's not called being biased either. My true followers know me and my content the best. That's why when DCP pushed out his lies and deceit, they already knew. To just sit and wait for Daddy's response, which it only took me like 2 days to debunk. Because it was just that easy. Well, Josh, the guy...
Well, because Apoc really only just had to play the full clips. It's not that hard to debunk. That's why it didn't take that long, is because Apoc literally just had to play the full clip.
Guy who can apparently handle any and all criticisms, who apparently welcomes it, has not yet once debunked any of the 100+ videos made on him by 33 other content creators. Yes, that's how many videos and how many other YouTubers have made videos on the clown. But he has yet to debunk anybody who criticizes him. He just makes up excuses and calls all haters, like the vloggers do. That's a little out for a guy who says he likes dialogue. But I guess...
That's true. In my opinion, how I view the situation going down is that DCP feels like if he acknowledges any of this even completely constructive criticism, that he's giving power to it, which is a very immature and cocky stance to take, in my opinion. Nobody is above criticism. Everybody can always be better in some way. And what were the numbers? 33 different content creators are making 100+ videos about you, most likely touching on the same points. There may be some validity to those. And if you respect your platform and you respect what's essentially your colleagues on this platform, I don't think it's weak to acknowledge your shortcomings in those videos. I don't think that it's bad to listen to them. Even if you just hear them out and then you say, well, I don't agree with you and here's why, X, Y, and Z. Even that. But just kind of shutting it all out. We've seen influencers and content creators in the past completely just ignore any scandal or any criticism that they've ever been in. It doesn't work out well. It doesn't turn out well because people start seeing, oh, they actually don't care about what I'm saying, so bye. That's how you kill your audience. You reduce your engagement. The more engaged you are with the community and they see that you're interacting with them, even if it's one of those things where you have to swallow your pride a little bit, which DCP does have a problem doing, they're going to see that and they're going to recognize that and you'll gain respect. You don't have to fake respect if you just gain it.
So only entertain that idea if those other creators exploit their own children.
I wish more vloggers would do this. I think Jess Fam, if she really wanted to, she could snark fest. Oh yeah, I think she could roast if she really wanted to get into it. She would probably be pretty good at it.
See, this is one of those moments where it comes across on the surface level as being friendly and being haha, roast me or whatever. In the YouTube game, those kinds of interactions, what DCP wants for that to happen is for people to clip it and for him to be able to title a video, I roasted Just Fan left shook, all this stuff. So it's not really a genuine interaction. What is that doing for dialogue when we're in a commentary community? When the fundamental basis of our community is critiquing behaviors, ideas, and thoughts that people have and that they put out into the ether, what is that doing? I just don't find that to be very genuine. Honestly, it really just seems like he really wants Jess Fam to talk to him, really bad. So that's just my opinion.
Welcomes all criticism, but only if it's valid. But the only evidence we have of this is him wishing Jess Fam would roast him back, but not sit down and actually have a real discussion with her.
Right.
Nothing like that at all. He would rather have her roast or snark back to him instead of having any of us content creators who actually have something to say, who actually criticize him and his channel. He will not invite any of us on to have a real conversation.
My point. Exactly. Totally.
With him. Yeah, that doesn't sound like someone who wants to hear the truth. Or, get
Definitely not.
And take that L in front of his entire community. But anyways, what tickles my little pickle is that he tried to use those out of context clips against me, trying to imply that I'm some sort of misogynistic hypocrite or something for calling him out while having those clips on my channel. But like I said, it didn't really work outside of his own echo chamber. Now with the Kira and her butt thing, in the time I was just trying to give her a compliment, and then later on realized how problematic that was. was, or at least the way it was executed. There are plenty of ways you can give out compliments to anyone, but I obviously gave an inappropriate one, and I acknowledge that. But he still tried to use it against me, even after owning up. I mean, it's there, so why do you use it? Funny how he skipped that part. Now, what makes all of this even more delicious is that the guy who's calling me out for zooming in on Kira's butt is the same guy who makes fun of women for things out of their control. He claims that's not what he does, but he's also said he actually doesn't know.
But I do make fun of surface level things like their parents and stuff like that, but I wouldn't, like, something that you can't help, I likely wouldn't say anything. I really probably don't. Maybe I have, but I don't think so. If it's something you can't help, I'm really not going to be like, But if it's something that you did to yourself, like a transformer, I make fun of you.
So...
Ugh. Oh, you're so gross, dude. You're so gross. DCP, you're gross. And let me tell you why. If you even need to make fun of somebody's appearance, whether they can control it or not, as far as in this clip, he's referencing like plastic surgery and different cosmetic procedures. If you even need to stoop that low, you're not critiquing. You're not critiquing. You're not doing anything. You're not adding anything. Me personally, in my videos, I don't ever comment on anybody's physical appearance, and that's because that's not what I'm concerned about. That's not what I want to focus on, because really, what can you say? And honestly, if you're the dad of YouTube, if my dad talked to me like that, say I got breast implants or lip injections or a nose job, and my dad said, well, I'm going to make fun of you for that because you did it to yourself. Is that right? Do you think that's okay? DCP, if one of your kids got a cosmetic procedure, do you think that that's just free game to make fun of them on just because they did it to themselves? Is that what the logic is here? Because that doesn't really track. That does not give I'm a caring fatherly figure on YouTube. It doesn't track.
Oh, one would think, right, that if you didn't do those things that you would know for sure. I mean, he sounds pretty confident on it, but then he kind of backpedals. So it kind of tells me that he does make fun of women for things out of their control, things that they were born with. There's plenty of examples of this. He makes fun of voices, looks, etc. What was that about integrity? Well, folks, I hate to break it to you. Actually, I don't.
All the dads watching this are like, I'm not going to say it but you know what I'm saying.
Sounds like DCP is implying that all the dads, men, and married men who are watching this video are only watching it because they are checking out these women for no other reason than the way they look.
Pause. This video is just like a dancing video to my knowledge, so I'm not really sure what the commentary could be on, except that it just features people that he generally makes commentary videos on. What is there to say about this? Literally, what is it? Are you gonna critique their dancing styles? Are you Todrick Hall? Are you Twitch? To me, it seems like DCP just wants to watch this video.
This falls under objectifying women, which by default pretty much means that's what he's doing right now. You know, a dad, a married man, who's apparently happy in his relationship with his wife, so he says. But what I said was an issue, but what he just said isn't a problem. I mean, come on, though. What do we expect from a guy who says he checks out other women right in front of his own wife?
Look at that look right there. Okay, this is that look where, like, if you're shopping with your wife and you've, like, looked at some other lady's ass or whatever, you look at your wife and she does this, and you're like, oh, hey.
Now, some biased goon will claim that I'm taking these things.
What does that even mean?
That's not what he said at all. Blah, blah, blah. But how else can you interpret what he said? His words implied the experience of getting the death glare from the old ball and chain. That is literally a so-called family man claiming that him and other family men are staring at other married women online behind their wives' backs. But like I said, what should we expect? DCP literally admitted to disrespecting his own wife right to her face by ogling other women in public. Bruh. But in his own attempt to slander me, all he did was make himself look like an even bigger fool than he already is, which I didn't even think was possible. So we do have to give him credit where credit's due. But how in the hell are you going to push out a video and give the impression that being misogynistic is a bad thing while being a misogynist yourself? I mean, so far it's plain as day, and I'm not even close to being done with this one. Those cheeks are mine, boy. And the Best part is that it's not like these clips that I'm pushing out on him are from years ago. The majority of them are within the last few months or so, unlike the ones that
Very
he posted
true.
on me, which are like 2 years old and even pushing 3. You see, that's the difference between me and Will Say So over here, is that while I've owned up, he still thinks it's okay to talk and behave like this and make fun of women because it works. Because he's been doing it this entire time since the start of his channel and doesn't need a change for anyone because A, B, and C.
What bugs me the most about the people that liked me before and don't like me now is that they all of a sudden think that I've changed. I asked my mods who I trust, be honest with me. Has my snark changed, or is it just because I do it a lot more? And they said, no, your snark has stayed steady and I trust them.
So
If you're asking your own echo chamber for confirmation of a question that you want to know the answer to, that the answer to would be not malicious, but negative against you, do you think that that's a smart polling pool? Do you think that those are the correct people to ask? Because there are a lot of other opinions by a lot of other content creators on YouTube that have said the opposite. But because DCP's mods said, "You're doing a great job, bud. You're perfect. You're doing everything just right." He's obviously going to take their word. It's just confirmation bias. I know he sees the other videos that people make about him. I know he'll probably see this video. Potentially. Maybe. I don't know. DCP, if you want to talk, I won't make fun of your appearance or anything. I just want to talk. I just want to have a conversation with you. That is if you can, like, not objectify me for 5 seconds.
he has to ask others as a grown man with a platform on whether or not if he's being too mean or crossing the line. The guy who's supposed to be the voice of reason. The guy who's apparently the dad of YouTube, who creates content based around the mindset of being a dad, and who is apparently leading the charge against child exploitation, against all these bad people, these vlog moms and dads. And yet he is the one that has to be kept in check and doesn't know right from wrong. And keep in mind, people, that his so-called trusted circle, which are his own biased mods, by the way, are nothing but a bunch of mean girls anyways. And this is the same trusted circle who let him dox Brianna K, putting a whole ass family in danger. The guy who wants to protect kids from online predators? But I guess showing Brianna K's street on Google Earth in front of roughly 100,000 randoms online wasn't meant with bad intentions. At least that's what he likes to claim. Not really sure what the hell the point even was to all that, or how the hell that protects their kids from online predators in any way, shape, or form. But hey, I guess me questioning why an apparent child safety advocate would put kids in danger makes me a jealous hater. I mean, to be real, the only conclusion that I can even fathom in this situation is that he was trying to hype up and rally his community together to go to her home and harass her. Wouldn't be the first time he weaponized his following either.
And this is another one of those instances of I don't like and I also don't respect his methods and manner in which he's trying to achieve a certain goal. I'm not sure what picketing outside with all of your fans and followers outside of like a person's house with all their kids inside once they have rehomed. And I'm not saying that these are good people either. Awful people. Do not condone anything really about them or what they've done. I think they suck. My point is, what is that achieving? What is that achieving? It's not going to undo anything that they've done. There's no restitution. There's no retribution. There's nothing that could make that situation whole again. Now, if this were hyperbole and just histrionics and everything, is that really where you needed to exaggerate for effect? I don't think it is. DCP, I think you could have articulated yourself and maybe thought out what you were saying a little bit more than going so torches and pitchforks. This kind of mentality signifies to me that he wants to be a leader. He calls himself the dad of YouTube, for fuck's sake. Like, he wants to be a leader in this community and he doesn't want to be questioned on any of his methods or behaviors. What does that sound like to you? The funny thing is a lot of commentary, like anti-mommy vlogger and family vlogger channels and anti-mom influencers, we often accuse them of basically brainwashing their fans and their stans that they're so behind and they love this person so much that they idolize that they can't see the negative things. Well, basically, DCP's audience and his mods that he trusts so much, they're already in the same category. So what right does he have to be calling out these other people when he's doing literally the exact same thing? Is it just because he's saying he's subversive? Is it? I don't know. Let's keep going.
And I know some will say that he would never do such a thing. Even the people who criticize him the most are probably questioning that statement right now. They're like, Apoc, what are you talking about? That's a bold claim. Why would you say that? Well, because of this clip.
I'm going to picket outside of your house with people. I'm going to your hometown and I'm going to picket you. I'm going to bring a bunch of people to hang outside your house and picket what dirtballs you are. The next step is the next step. That's what's going to happen.
So here we have...
The next step doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. What goal are you accomplishing? What progress are you making? You're doing nothing except for terrorizing children that live in that home. That's all you're doing. Why would you ever, ever, ever say this?
So here we have an example of DCP literally doing the very thing that I said he was trying to do to Breonna K. Keep in mind that I made a very serious claim against him. And then right after said claim, I was able to prove it that he's done stuff like this with full receipts and with literally zero lies and manipulation at play. The point is, DCP loves to twist and spin things for his own narratives and makes claims against a lot of people like me who question him, yet seems to fall short when it comes to providing any sort of proof. Now, as for the whole going to the sufferer's home and harassing them, that's really odd behavior for someone with a platform.
I agree.
To protect kids from online weirdos.
Because you're asking for a call to action. This is like yelling fire in a movie theater. You just can't do that. There's a lot of reasons why that I'm not going to get into for the sake of brevity, but there are some people out there that may be empowered by that and that may be angry enough at those people that they think that that's what they should do.
The only one that I need protection from is Josh. I mean, who in their right mind wants to do something like that, on top of not thinking about the other kids that live there either? How could you not factor these other children in while you have a platform advocating for children? In fact, he spent a lot of his time advocating for Huxley, and yet he wants to put his old siblings in danger. It's literally common sense that that's a bad thing. Not to mention Josh wanted to fight James Stauffer personally.
Fight me. You and I, buddy. I've never had a boxing match before. You played hockey in college. You probably know how to fight.
So with all the stalking...
See, this is kind of like the... How does anybody... See, this is what I'm not getting. If you just want to be a loudmouth, just do that. But don't come on here and pretend like you're the savior for these children and then be a loudmouth like this. This is kind of the same thing of him saying that he wanted to fight the dad of this Stauffer family. It's kind of in the same thing as him wanting to have a roast fest with Jess Fam. Like, you don't actually want to fight this man. You don't mean that. You're just saying it. You're just puffing up your chest and putting your shoulders back and acting like you're a rowdy, bowdy bitch. And you're not. Because even when you make claims, very serious claims against people, you don't even have evidence. So the only thing you're really good for is running your mouth. That's really it. All you do is talk.
Harassing and putting kids in danger. It seems like Josh is a pretty dangerous guy and a very unstable person and has no business or credibility speaking about the safety of children. Oh, and for any of those who are confused on the stalking part, peep this.
Jason's got 1 million subscribers, so now we have to take it to the next level. We are going to hire a private investigator, James and Micah. We're going to actually truly find out through private eyes. If that doesn't work, we're actually going to start coming to picket where you are. Because as soon as COVID's over, I'm driving down to Ohio. And I'm going to stand outside your house with pickets, with a bunch of people who hate you. And we're going to picket outside your house.
So he can try the dogs and...
Oh my god, you gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. What is this achieving? This is so, like, chronically online. You're threatening to hire a PI to get information on these people, and then you also threaten to escalate it to picketing with a bunch of people that hate you. Why? Why? It's literally just intimidation. It's just scare tactics. He's just barking. When you have issues with something online, you have two options. One is to complain about it, and one is to let it go and don't consume that content anymore. I am the former because I love to complain about things. What you don't do is say, I have a certain goal in mind. If you do not participate in reaching this goal in which you are the subject of, I'm going to hire a PI. A PI? I'm going to pick it outside of your house? I'm going to pick it outside of your house with people that hate you. Okay. All right. But he's the dad of YouTube, right? He's the dad of YouTube. Fuck the kids that are in the house, right? They should be scared in their house looking out the windows seeing a bunch of people with signs calling their parents assholes. That's okay. That's fine. Okay. All right. The fact that he would even say this on YouTube and still even have a platform is like beyond me, but okay. Gonna just, get through this.
Actually dogs are the creators. He can threaten to stalk and harass the stoffers with the help of randoms online that he doesn't even know, by the way. And he can hire someone to follow them around everywhere, watching their every move for no good reason at all, other than him wanting to make them uncomfortable living their life. And used all that as content, and even threatened Huxley's new adoptive parents.
And I want to say this too. The person who has H right now, I keep reaching out to her on Instagram because she's using him on her Instagram, and I'm like, please don't. And she keeps blocking me. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm not going to tell you where to go, but I'm pissed.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Because she keeps ignoring me. So
take a hint. Take a hint. Take the hint, Josh.
Trust me, this lady. You don't want the people who are 4-H to come after you to be doing stupid stuff.
But all this wasn't meant with bad intentions? This isn't a threat? What world does he live in? And the fact that his community just shrugs all this off is mind-boggling.
I can't. You know what? I can't. We gotta go. I gotta go.
But hey, don't really expect much from people who watch this so-called content unironically. But anywho, check out this pinned comment that he left in the video where he threatened the stoffers. If you are here because of the protest bit, I won't delete it. But don't forget to watch the next episode where I retract this by listening to my subs. So he retracts the statement, but doesn't actually want to delete the statement. Bruh, but I thought keeping things up on your platform implies that you still believe those things or that you don't think you did any wrong. Or won't change or whatever. I mean, at least that's...
See, Yep. I mean, Apoc's right on the money. Here's my stance on it. I think that there are some things, if you say something problematic, like Apoc did, as far as Kira's butt, there's an honestness in the transparency of leaving that up. You can see the progression. This kind of behavior, stopping this kind of behavior and taking accountability for it, not only has that, not truly been done, it's just that you should also just delete it. It's not serving any purpose for it to be up, and it is incendiary, truthfully. Be responsible with your platform.
Energy I got from his community, they had that with me. They were doing that to me because I left up my old edgy videos. They gave me a lot of grief for it, but he can just keep up anything he wants with no issue. Or does that energy only apply to the so-called haters? Remember what I said about having a biased echo chamber? And since when did he ever start listening to his subs? Didn't the little queen just go off on how he only listens to people within his trusted circle? You told me that with kids being there, that it's not appropriate, so I retracted it. So imagine having to be told by a random that's showing up with a bunch of other randoms to a house full of kids to harass their parents isn't the brightest of ideas. It's actually super ironic. The guy who apparently had so much to say about the Stoffers and what they did to poor Huxley, bashing them for traumatizing him, but he threatens the Stoffers, Huxley's other siblings, and Huxley's new adoptive parents too. And yet, like I said, he's the voice of reason for some people. Not that it will matter to the haters, because that won't help your narrative. Oh, there it is. My favorite thing in the world that these people say. The haters did it. My guy sounds like a vlog mom, bro. But what narrative are people trying to push against you, DCP?
This is classic projection. You're never as bad as your meanest, most vile hate comment, but you're also never as good as your most loving fan would lead you to believe. DCP's head is the size of the moon. His ego is massive. If it wasn't, he wouldn't be doing and saying all of this garbage. So, of course, he's only going to listen to people that he himself deems as having a credible opinion. If you get one or two comments saying, you suck, this isn't good, you shouldn't have said that, maybe look into it, whatever. If you get 500 comments saying, yo, you should not have said this. This is dangerous. This is not good. Maybe it's time to take a step outside of yourself and realize how you are being perceived. I don't understand how anybody on this platform is not hyper aware of how they're being perceived. I said this in one of my OK Baby videos. When you are a content creator, you have the ultimate say in what you put out. You control what you say, how you say it, how you edit it. You control everything. There's a serious lapse in judgment here. There's a gap. I don't know how big, but it's too big for my comfort. It's too big. This behavior is despicable.
The only one trying to spin things is you. People calling you out on situations isn't them trying to make you look bad or drama bait. You did that on your own, my guy, by not thinking about other kids. But it is funny how no one outside of his sub account is allowed to call him out, even if it's for the same exact thing. And yet he has built a platform on calling other people out and shitting on their communities, which, by the way, is the epitome of having an echo chamber.
This is kind of, let me give you a very good example, a real world example. A lot of companies, healthcare, like beauty care, all that kind of stuff, they'll say this drug or this product is super, super good and it's been clinically tested. You always want to look at who paid for the clinical testing. Was it done by a third party source or was it paid for? Were these clinical testers contracted by the company? Just saying.
Guess he can dish it but can't take it. I mean, his smear campaign against me is the reaction of someone who knows they are clearly outmatched intellectually. Well, and physically too. I mean, if me and him got in a boxing ring, he'd burn out within the first 30 seconds of the first.
What is this photo?
His endurance is dog shit.
What is this photo of Josh?
He has no idea what he's doing. And I'm basically a foot taller than the guy. No shade, but it's not even a fair fight. It'd be like Goku versus Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. But, if Frieza was weak, out of shape, and non-planetary. Although he does have Frieza's racist tendencies. I'll give him that one.
My white buddy and I are driving through Detroit in his little Hyundai accent, listening to Christian hip-hop. And these guys, it was dumb, because we got lost in downtown Detroit. Don't ever get lost as white people in downtown Detroit, okay?
I mean, as anyone, really.
As anyone, don't. And these guys pull up in this giant Tahoe, or this big, giant black, I don't know what it was, Escalade or something, roll down their window and look at us, and they say, what are you listening to? We roll up our window, and the highway was right at the next exit we hopped on the highway and took off. We're like, I don't even know. And I don't even know. That was scary, because we don't know anything, because we're from Canada, man. We don't have that kind of stuff.
Now again, there's no...
What? Okay. Let's hear what Apoc has to say, because I've got thoughts, but I need a minute.
No other way to interpret this clip. Although that is unless you're a biased clown who will justify and make excuses for anything your god says or does.
Right.
They never actually stated the race. He said they were in a black Escalade. So then...
But he made the distinction, you don't want to get lost in downtown Detroit as two white people. Now, it's no secret that Detroit is a predominantly black area, so it's not like he's being coy about this. And I also don't think there is anything to be coy about. Like, black people are not this like scary entity that you're not allowed to say a lot of black people live in this area.
Why did he mention his own race? He said he felt unsafe as a white guy in Detroit. And what, you're basing it off of black SUVs? That makes no sense at all. You're not going to be afraid of a vehicle because of your race. They don't discriminate. They'll run over anyone. He could have said anything else, like he felt unsafe because of the huge crime rate within Detroit, that he was alone in the country and was scared. That would have been reasonable and understandable.
Fair.
But that's not what he did. That's not what he said at all. And he was never alone. He was with his buddy, who was white, by the way, which he emphasized on, and got shook over someone asking them to what kind of music that they're listening to. So much for being this all-around friendly guy. So if you don't know, the main demographic of Detroit is black people. And even if he didn't mean them, he's still saying that he's afraid of another group of people because of the color of their skin or just how they look. We know he's not afraid of white people. He made that pretty clear in his statement. And I'm kind of curious to what they don't have in Canada. What are those things, Josh? Black SUVs? Is that what he meant? Or is it just friendly people asking questions? To me, it kind of sounds like he's saying that Canada doesn't have black people in it. There's no way he's talking about crime in Canada, because that ship has sailed, which, by the way, is a heinous and disgusting crime against natives in Canada. And even if he was talking about the crime rate, that makes this whole situation even worse, because he's implying that he's scared as a white guy in Detroit and correlating the crime with people of color. And all they did was just ask him a simple question. I mean, do you guys remember Barbecue Becky? Yeah, I'm getting those vibes right now.
Same.
So, you know, even with all that, I'm racist for not knowing how to pronounce an ethnic last name, bruh. Which, by the way, that last name that I didn't know how to pronounce, at the time at least, belongs to Karen and Kwa Nguyen, otherwise known as KK and Baby J, who are vloggers who are very well known for their actual racism. And when called out for it, they do what DCP does and just tells the so-called haters to just get over it, and that it's not going anywhere. But anyways, Josh never taking kids into consideration is nothing new for him. He has never actually learned from his past actions and behaviors. And we have evidence of this because he's still doing the same damn things he's been doing. The Breonna K situation is evident. I mean, that was literally this year in January 2022.
Yep.
All the threatening to stalk, harass, and dox the staffer thing was back in October 23rd, 2020. So basically, a year and a half apart from each other, and it seems like he hasn't changed at all when he claims that he did, and that he's kept in check by his inner circle of wretches. And like I said, the fact that he needs to be put in check by others literally means he doesn't know right from wrong, which also implies that he doesn't actually think that he's done anything wrong himself. And this is the same guy who claims that he's the first one to call himself out when he's done something wrong, yet he constantly has to be told by other people, his biased people, that his behavior is inappropriate. To me, that doesn't sound like someone who has a fraction of accountability. It just sounds like a tiny little unhinged, egotistical narcissist who is literally trying to put whole ass families in danger because he gets off on it and knows that he can get away with it because of his 100,000 enablers.
Let me say something real quick about accountability. Now, I've been online a long time, and you better believe I haven't always said the most correct thing. Either I just had a bad take or I didn't explain myself well. Either way, whatever the circumstance is, it's my responsibility to correct myself. And how you correct yourself is that you see other people's reactions, how other people perceive what you're saying, and then you go, I wonder why people aren't liking what I said or did. Nobody in this world is perfect. What you can't do, though, is get on YouTube and talk about how you're such a savior and you've got this God complex and how you're the dad of YouTube. You're a protector. You're on a conquest to dismantle the family vlogging monolith. You go after these people and everything, and you talk about how, you would never do X, Y, or Z, and, you're so much better and all of this stuff. Because he doesn't want to earn your respect. He just wants to shoehorn you into it, which is all of this behavior. So basically what I'm saying is you can't get on here and act like holier than thou and then make mistakes that everybody makes and not be accountable for those. It just doesn't really match up. Either don't trump yourself up to be this great entity that you're so perfect and that you have all the answers, or listen to people when they tell you that you're wrong and be truly, truly accountable for it.
He likes to fill families with fear, especially women, and make them uncomfortable. And that's why he does what he does. Maybe it's payback for not getting mommy's full attention. Or maybe it has to do with his sister, who knows. But we do know that he mocks anyone and everyone outside of his echo chamber who call him out. Like I said, even if it's for the same thing that they apparently call him out for. And eventually, when he finally has to admit a wrongdoing, he never actually takes full accountability and owns up. I mean, we just went over how he retracted his statement, but didn't actually want to fully retract the statement by deleting it. He didn't want to take it down. Not to mention, he makes all these excuses and justifications and likes to blame the victim.
And again, that statement is the kind of statement that definitely should be removed off of his platform. Erring on the side of caution is always the good thing to do, so I don't know why you wouldn't just delete it.
I do want to apologize to Bits of Brianna K, that I'm sorry that I put your house on YouTube. It's not an excuse, but I didn't see her, I honestly truly didn't see her name of the road on the street name. It's just an oversight. I will never do it again. I basically wanted to see how far Target was from her house.
So
Why? Literally, why? Every family vlogger should be very cautious about posting their surroundings because people do go and search and they will put the pieces together. Why would you need to know how far a target is from this woman's house? This is the kind of behavior that doesn't really have an explanation. He says it's not an excuse, and then he says, but my opinion on butts in this sort of context when we're talking about these kind of issues is basically forget everything I said before. Here's what I really mean to say. Even if it's not your fault, it's still your responsibility to be accountable for what kind of information you are putting out about other people. You have even more of a duty, especially if you're the dad of YouTube, to be responsible with the information that you're posting about these people.
So imagine having a platform where you push the idea that vloggers put their families in danger because they show a blueprint to their lives and that they push out way too much personal information to their audiences, in which I'm willing to agree because that is a fact. I've said this before myself.
Yep.
But imagine saying all that, claiming that these people are rolling the dice with their kids' safety, and then literally doxing those same kids that you've been advocating for. Bruh. And then to quadruple down on his insanity, the reasoning for him doing all that to Brianna K, doxing her, was to see how far away Target was from her home. Because, that's not creepy in itself. Dude talks about these vloggers showing a blueprint.
Yeah, why? Why?
Naming off landmarks and whatnot, literally creating a blueprint for other people to see.
Yep.
I mean, if someone bad got a hold of his video at the time, they could have used it to hurt that family. Just think about that. But again, he doesn't factor any of that in, which is odd because the whole idea behind trying to bring awareness to child exploitation is to showcase and explain the potential harm that can come out of it from inside the home by the parents and outside the home from random weirdos.
Well, it's because DCP doesn't care about that because his scope of what he cares about does not extend past himself. He either doesn't care or he's ignorant to. I'm not sure which is worse, being willfully ignorant or not caring about what you're putting out about other people's information. And I've seen it happen before. You can't get on here and say that you're a protector and that you're an advocate and do this. You can't do it. It doesn't track. If we follow the bouncing ball, it doesn't track.
Who want to do bad things. You don't see me breaking down house tours, do you? Because there's no point to them. There's no benefit. It doesn't help the kids. It doesn't further the cause. It only goes against it.
True.
Yet DCP loves that type of content.
He
Shocker.
does.
So I do have some questions for the little guy. Where did you get her address from? Did you go out and look for it? Why did you do that? And even if you did find it just by searching up her name, that doesn't mean you actually go and do it and look up her address
Yeah.
and show it to the world. Like I said, that doesn't keep kids safe. That's actually the...
If he genuinely wanted to know, which this feels like bullshit to me, my meter is off the charts right now. If he genuinely wanted to know, for some legitimate reason, how far a Target was from her house, why do you need to publicize that? Why couldn't you just keep that to yourself? Why do you have to show anything? Why do you have to show anything at all? You have so many different steps in the process where you could think about, is this a certain thing that I want to put out? And the fact that that made it through every time is concerning.
Opposite of safety. Let's also keep in mind that this is the same creep who apparently felt threatened by our private DMs where I sent him his own address privately, warning him about his own mod, sending it to me, trying to backstab him. But he felt threatened by me, by our DMs, but doesn't see an issue with anything he does. When he actually threatened to go to someone's home and harass them with actual children there. I mean,
come on now.
His own logic, his name, address, and number are super easy to find too. Not that he even tried to look them up. Don't get it twisted. I already proved his mod did what she did. But what I did do was Google his name to do some research to get a full grasp of his online presence. And it was all just there for the world to see. Because it seems like he's been a little too personal online as well, just like the vloggers. Not that I'm promoting for anyone to go and look for anything or his information. But why aren't we allowed to blame him for things like that when he blames everyone else? That doesn't seem very fair. This guy likes to play dirty, but doesn't like when anyone else does the same. I mean, just imagine if I didn't privately message him.
It's always rules for thee, not for me. If I were DCP, I would have been thankful, even if it was somebody I was beefing with or somebody that was my enemy. If I was DCP and I was beefing with Apoc and one of my mods sent Apoc my address, I would be thankful. I would be grateful that Apoc had the decency to let me know, hey, one of the people on your team sent this to me and you should know it. Here is the address for verification that I'm not lying. But instead, DCP, the clout chaser, DCP, the drama starter, is gonna make a whole thing about this and just straight up lie about the circumstances. I mean, the screenshots don't lie. I've seen the full screenshots too, not even just like cropped in this video and everything. I've seen the full ones. They're legit. And I've seen a lot of backstabbing going on online as far as two people are feuding. One person on one person's side will go and feed someone information. It happens all the time. So if that's happening to you, you gotta put your ego aside, dude. Be thankful that this mod didn't dox you publicly and that they just sent it to Apoc, who had the kindness and decency to bring it to you and say, you need to check out your team because you've got some moles. How did you get from that to this person is threatening me and going after my family? Just curious.
And I did what he did to Brianna K instead. Him and his community would be up in arms. They actually did act like I really doxed him too. Nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. But anyways, let's keep poking the bear.
Again, how did they block this whole area off? Boobs everywhere. There's boobs everywhere.
Oh, commenting on boobs that don't belong to your wife. Okay, nothing to see here, folks.
I will be making fun of people's appearances. So if you don't like that, don't watch.
So, this is the same guy who clipped out my videos making it look like that I was making fun of appearances, which I debunked, but who is now boasting about making fun of the appearances of women and yet tells people to just get over it.
Now, I have asked Aaron who this person is because I was like, are those real? And Aaron said, they are real. They've been reduced.
So a creepy middle-aged so-called man is asking a female, who's not his wife by the way, about another female's breast and whether or not they're real.
This is Erin Williams. She's one of my favorites. There's no joke. I like Erin. We talk all the time.
This had nothing to do with making fun of appearances or anything like that. Just reminding you all that DCP gets along and is actively talking to Erin Williams, a person who exploits her own children, and a person he claims that we're all supposed to hate and that he wants to deplatform. Which he did the same to this Nicole Polson girl. She decided to roast him back or whatever, and after this cringe fest of a video, he responded saying that we all should just ignore the fact that she takes advantage of others being an MLMer.
She's a top tier 1% MLMer. And you guys know how I feel about that. But in the spirit
I do also hate MLMs. They're predatory.
of snarkiness and the spirit of roast, we gotta leave that behind. It's not about that. It's about somebody stepping up to roast the dad of YouTube.
I also did zero research on
What? Again, he's just like making this all about himself. It's not about what this person did. It's that they had the gusto and the balls to stand up against me.
before making the video. My guess is he was just too happy and giddy that he finally got some attention from a pretty blonde girl. Lord knows he's not used to it. So because he got roasted back, he decided to have fun with her instead of actually exposing her for the filth that she is.
I know that these are real. That's great. But here, are those teeth real? Did she pull off a crazy pieces? We all know the eyelashes are definitely not real, 100%. If her ears are real, then we'll see.
So it goes from commenting on someone else's breast size to asking about her breast to now circling and breaking down her body and then starts rating her. Gee, and all I said was that Kira had a nice booty.
What is going on? What? I have no words. I have no words. I almost spit out that drink when that happened. Let me take these glasses off and clean them off. What? This is the dad of YouTube, guys. Daddy's home. Let's circle women's breasts. Let's talk about their teeth and their eyelashes and their ears, I guess. Like, let's draw and make a little diagram as if she's nothing but a picture and is not a complete human being with complex thoughts and feelings. I guess that's what we're doing now. Okay. And you know what? Let me say something. I worked at Hooters for 5 years in a bunch of different locations. I was a corporate trainer. I have never been objectified like that man just objectified that woman. And I worked at Hooters for 5 years. 5 years. So, DCP, what does that say about you? What is the point? What is the point? Seriously, like why would you ever do this? This video is nothing but just a dance, right? What is there to commentate on? The costume design? The cinematography? Literally what? I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. Don't understand, bitch. Let's go. I don't understand.
In his community, considered a crime against humanity. It's also like we're living in a twilight zone. Press about what I said, but they are in the comments joining in, not giving a single Tell me you're biased and Brendan without...
Right, so Apoc can not say Kira has a nice butt and zoom in on it on a one-off shot several years ago and apologize for the inappropriateness of it. But Josh can literally draw shapes and discuss if somebody's breasts are real with another person that's not even them. And that's okay. He's like, yeah, you know what? Killed it. I rest my case. Like, the jury has come back not guilty. That's what he thinks.
I'm telling me.
Very tall, very thick. Thick? When I say thick, I mean like in a really good way. I like thick women.
Women stand this guy.
Oh my gosh.
Does anybody care about what you find sexually attractive? Literally, could anybody give a single shit about what you find sexually attractive? My answer is probably not.
I can't wait to hear the heat from the women. Y'all pointed out their boobs! You're a misogynist!
Bro, he did not just say that. So let me get this straight. He goes after me for old edgy content that was based from a couple of years ago, even 3 maybe, manipulating everything and taking it all out of context, and used it as a way to say, hey, this is wrong and this guy's a hypocrite, but can just come on his platform and mock other women who find a problem with what
I need a
he's
drink.
saying, calling him
I need a
misogynist.
drink.
Bruh. So how can he imply that I'm a misogynist when I've owned up to my past and don't say those things anymore and have proved that time and time again? I even recently made a new video based around one of my old ones with those twin sister vloggers who are actively sleeping with the same man, living in this...
Oh, these girls. I cannot deal with these girls.
That was just a tad bit too raunchy. I'll give you that one. But I revised the video because I wanted to show everyone that I can make a video based around the same topic without being edgy or gross. But what is funny, in that old video, the old version, I called the girls trashy, and DCP used that to slander me. Yet here he is calling Maya Knight trashy. It's like DCP love to take these L's, man. This is too damn easy. But he does this all the time. He mocks the people who call him out. He doesn't think he's done anything wrong. He doesn't think he's a misogynist. He doesn't want to change. Which, by the way, all these are red flags of a narcissist. Dude made a whole video dedicated to talking about women and rating their bodies. Like there's no reading between the lines here. He even said if you wear makeup or alter your body in any way, shape, or form, that he's allowed to make fun of you.
I think it's fair game that if you're going to push a whole ton of shit, whole ton of chemicals and everything in your body, I'm allowed to comment on it. Because I actually think that natural beauty is a really important thing.
I'm sorry, man, but thinking you're entitled to making fun of women just because you, as a man, like the all-natural look doesn't actually give you the right or entitlement to actually do those things.
This clip bothers me to no end. To no end. I'm a person that has not had a single cosmetic procedure. I pluck my own eyebrows, and that's about as far as it goes, and get my hair dyed occasionally. Women do not exist for you to comment on their bodies. Now, people's character, I feel like you can learn and grow from that, and you can change your character and you mature over time. So I feel like that's fair game because you do have control over the actions you do. Even if somebody, to alleviate any sort of body dysmorphia that they're having, if a very flat-chested person thinks, I would feel more comfortable, I would feel more like myself, I would be more satisfied day to day in my own skin if I got implants and had a bigger chest. What gives you the right, just because you think natural beauty is important? Is that what gives you the right? Because truthfully, anybody that's out there right now getting lip injections, rhinoplasties, Kybella, breast implants, they certainly don't give a singular molecular shit about what you find beautiful. Is natural beauty important? Yes, but people also have insecurities. If those people are lucky enough to be able to modify themselves in some way to alleviate that insecurity, why are you shitting on that? as far as I know, you've had gastric bypass or a lap band or something, some sort of surgery to use as a tool in weight loss. So if you are uncomfortable at the weight you were at and thought, I need to go through some sort of procedure in order to get smaller where I would feel more comfortable and feel more confident, how is that any different? Do you see anybody out here shaming you for getting a weight loss surgery? You certainly don't. But Josh, that's not natural beauty because you got a surgery. Do you see the difference? Like, the difference here is that you're an asshole and that everybody else is just living their life. Can women live? Can women just have a second to breathe? Can they just have a second to breathe? So if a flat-chested girl got implants to be the same size as mine, you think that it's not right to comment on me, but it's right to comment on her? What's the difference? It's a personal decision that only affects themselves, and nobody gives a fuck about what you think. That's just the truth.
It doesn't give you a pass to make fun of women. And again, it's like the Brianna K situation, thinking he has the right to dox her and expose where she lives just because she shows the blueprint to her life. This mentality he has is actually kind of scary. It makes him seem like a very dangerous person. Imagine what his wife goes through. It actually blows my mind, some of the stuff he believes or tells himself. That he has the right to belittle and degrade women just because it's not his preference. This is literally the mind of a true misogynist. And like I said, it's not like this were from a couple years ago. The Mean Girls dance video was last year in December, and his hit piece on me was only a month out from that. Oh, you know how I said that DCP loves natural women? What's this then?
I unpacked my wife's purse in front of you guys. I did break her lip plumper, as it's called. My bad, because you're supposed to twist it off, and I went...
Seems like
oh no,
letting his wife plump up her
oh no
naturally. Maybe it's so she can look like Aaron Williams. I bet you he'll be screaming to his community that I went after his wife again, even though I didn't actually throw any shade at her at all. It's just shade towards him. But hey.
Yeah, if Josh's wife wants to use a lip plumping lip gloss, girl, do it. Let me know which one you use. I need a new one. Actually, that's a lie. I don't even have one. I want to get one. Let me know which one you have. That's not a shade towards his wife at all. This is his view as viewing women as a commodity. You have to do or be certain things to earn his respect. If not, it's fair game on you. It's open season. And that's very dangerous. That's misogynistic. And DCP, big middle fingers to you for that, because that sucks and you suck.
It's not my fault that you let the world know that you're unhappy. Now, one thing that I left out in my DCP slander debunking video was this community post on me, which was super cringe, by the way. And we're just gonna dive into that mess and slap him around a little bit more. Oh, but before we do, peep this.
Well, it's just my love makes multi-surface cleaner. Smells like my vag.
So me making a comment about...
Look, I don't have any commentary on that, but why? Why? Did you think that was so cute and gorgeous? Did you think that was so fun? Do you think you're so quirky? Because you made a joke about a cleaner smelling like a woman's vagina? You think that's so fun? That's so funny? Haha. So it's such a humorous joke. Women's sexual organs are like so funny.
Kira's butt was bad, right? But not breaking down women's entire bodies and then rating them. Talking about breast sizes and even circling them. Making inappropriate comments. Yep. And now talking about love makes vagina and what it smells like. Am I missing something here? And the fact
Apoc, if you're missing something, I'm missing the same thing, because I don't get it. I certainly don't get it. I surely don't.
His community was so upset with me just for what he showed is just extremely laughable.
One thing that I can't stand here is when people come after my family. They are not fair game. They are not on here. They aren't shared with the world.
Well, actually they are. To be fair, they really are. The guy literally has his family on his channel now in other videos. Or did you just forget this clip, Josh? Context, his kids are dancing, and one of them is in nothing but a diaper. You know, the guy who speaks out against that sort of thing? It's still there too, on his channel, yet bashes vlog moms for doing the same damn
Rules
thing.
for thee, not for me.
Sending me my own address, and then after realizing that it was a threat, sending me another message to try and mitigate it.
Okay, hold up. So, this is just hilarious. He said that...
Okay, let's just let it go. Let's just let it go, because I have a feeling that Apoc and I are about to agree on what he just said.
I tried to mitigate the threat, right? After realizing that it was a threat. But doesn't that mean when I originally sent it to him that I didn't know it could have been perceived as a threat? Or that it was even a threat at all? So how did I even threaten him? By his own words, he's implying that none of it was actually meant with bad intentions and that later on I realized it could be, so I backpedaled to mitigate it. He just debunked his own claims against me.
Yeah.
Not sure
Yeah.
how he fumbled
Yeah.
the ball with that one.
Yep.
Now, you can just chalk up the DMs to being weird, sure. But to be fair, my life doesn't revolve around him. I don't report to him. So if I wanted to wait a week, I would have. To be honest, I did him a favor. He should be more grateful. I found his mole. Plus, I did.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said earlier. Like, DCP needs to get off his high horse a little bit and realize that Apoc was being kind and reaching out to him and letting him know, hey, somebody on your team that you trust is not that trustworthy.
I didn't really think he was such a and tried to use this situation to terminate my channel instead of debating me. I mean, I should have expected these things from him, but I didn't. But like I said, I didn't actually think anything of it, especially because he's someone who actually doxed other people. So I didn't think it was a big deal. I mean, when you look at it, at least what I did was between us. Well, he's literally put other people in danger, kids in danger, families in danger. Who's the real threat here?
I'm creating an edited post to try to say just jokes, bro.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I replied to another comment with another creator making a joke, a clear joke, that we should rescue his wife. I mean, pause and read this damn thing.
I know where he lives. Kidding. I say we go full-blown SEAL Team 6 on his ass, American style, / show him a little freedom and rescue his wife from captivity. Ha ha ha. But yeah, I've experienced these type as well. It's so easy to see.
Where the am I going to get a Black Hawk helicopter from? Bet he wishes, though, that he had some of those American freedoms right now, huh? But we felt bad for his wife. I mean, anyone would. So we made a joke, and he tried to use it against me to terminate my channel because he can't argue with me or have a debate. He would be destroyed. That's why he did that. But yes, I did edit the comment saying kidding, not just jokes, bro. I said kidding. Because as I've shown, he weaponizes his community to go against people. And I didn't want anyone else to try to take that comment out of context and report it and flag my channel. Now to be clear, I didn't change a damn word within the comment itself. I just added the kidding part so that it didn't get flagged. But that's it. Nothing else was altered in any way, shape, or form. I'm not DCP. I don't need to manipulate to make my point. But it is quite comical how this guy gets so butthurt over a joke, yet was actually threatening to stalk, harass, and dox the Stoffer family and show up with a bunch of randoms from across the country or even the world. I get it. I'm fair game.
Can I say something bitchy? I do not trust a man that wears that much plaid. I will not be explaining further.
Come after me all you want, but don't ever threaten my family. It won't go well for you. Dude's a broken record player, man, I swear. To all those who co-sign with this stain of a human, I want you to watch this video and tell me why you think it's okay to hate me, but okay with what this guy puts on the internet. So I'm a stain of a human because I warned him of his mod, wanting me to dox him, yet he's not a stain, even though he's actually doxed other people publicly. Okay. I get it. I can be mean and come after people, but I do it because they are the worst of the worst. And yet he's friends with a handful of them. And he doesn't just do it because they're the worst of the worst people. He goes after Lug Meg, who does like organizing videos. She organizes her pantry every week or something. She doesn't exploit her children. But he said he's allowed to make fun of her for wearing makeup just because he likes the natural look. To me, that's not saying she's the worst of the worst. That's just saying you're a misogynistic piece of shit. They exploit their kids, so deal with it. But I've never said things like smash that in the face. Yeah, well, me neither. I mean, I have, but it wasn't serious. I made an out-of-pocket joke, but right after, literally right after, I said I don't condone violence whatsoever, and I just want someone to stand up for themselves for once. But I wonder why DCP left out that part. I am not the nicest guy to those who do what they do, but I thought he wasn't actually mean and it was kept in check by his close circle. But this guy takes hypocrisy to a whole new level, and he does it anonymously, so he thinks. Oh boy, that's great.
See, I mean, how many times can I say this? How many times can I say that you can't say this kind of stuff and not be seen as threatening. Josh, this is what you do to people. You threaten them. Whether it's indirect or veiled, it doesn't matter. You threaten them.
Cryptic, huh? I remember someone asking me if I'm afraid of people like DCP. It wasn't about DCP, but you get the idea. And this was my response. Please feel free to pause me because I'm not...
Man, no, not really. I've already had people try and threaten me, but it would make things for an interesting day. My life is boring sitting here in the middle of nowhere with 5 dogs, 2 of which are 100+ pounds. Right on, dude. Then there's my hunting dog, extra right on, and my half German Shepherd, extra right on. We love big dogs. We love hunting dogs. Got a few of my own. Oh, and let's not forget my American bully that would fuck someone's day up. True. Got one of those too. But if somehow they got past all that, we are pro Second Amendment in my house, and they would also have to deal with me. I'm a 200+ pound bodybuilder. Whoever decides to get frog with me is just plain stupid.
I'm not going to do it for you. But basically, let's just say it wouldn't go over well for him or anyone else who wants to get froggy. But just think about what he said for a second. He said, I do this anonymously, so I think. This is an actual threat or an implied threat, an idle threat, if you will. Like, hey, I'm going to look into you. I'm going to invade your privacy and expose information about you that you may not want online. And which he kind of did or tried to do. And again, he does this to make people feel uncomfortable or fill them with fear because he feels powerful. But I'm not shook at all. For one, he'll never actually try anything because he's the biggest pussy. Dude's scared of people just for asking questions. Doubt he'll ever pull up. And his following is just a bunch of loser housewives who wouldn't dare leave the comfort of their own home. All these people are nothing but a bunch of keyboard warriors. All bark and no bite. Plus, only paranoid scumbags use tactics like these. But hey, just because he's one doesn't mean we all are. And that's on God, too. This video was created after researching this discount Jesse Plemons. Jesse Plemons? Oh, that's the dude from Breaking Bad. That's my boy
Todd.
But wait a second. Is he implying that I'm ugly? Is he calling me ugly? The very same person who said that those...
A successful actor in like one of the greatest TV shows of all time, and you're comparing them. See, this is the kind of thing that I'm like, what's the benefit in you saying this? Ad hominem fallacies and ad hominem attacks are some of the dumbest arguments that you can make. I've been the subject of a lot of them because of who I am and my identity and what I look like. They're stupid every time. They're really dumb. They're what 3rd graders use on the playground.
Those things are bad? That's not very nice. If I was as pressed as he is about his appearance, I guess I would care. But to be honest, this was a huge miss on his part. I don't even see the correlation at all. If you're gonna come after me, you better not have like this in your videos, you absolute douche balloon. My God, he really needs to work on his insults. I thought he was like a professional at roasting and snarking, but I guess if there's no makeup or home decor to bash, he has zero material. Also, I know for a fact that it took way more than 3 minutes to search all those clips up. One of them was taken from a 30-minute video. I can't wait to see all the justifications for this. I am ready, Apoc. You wanted the smoke. Here it is, my man. I will save you the embarrassment and not actually snark on you. You are not worth it. I'll let your own words do the snarking. But I am kind of worth it, though. I mean, you did go through a handful of my videos. So,
yeah.
I am. And I actually don't think you wanted any of the smoke. You've been avoiding me in a debate with me for a while now. I mean, whenever I decide to actually challenge you, I was going to send you a DM on Instagram, but found out that I was actually blocked from you, and this was before any drama. So no, sir. No, old man. You are not one who wants any smoke. I mean, come on. I've debunked everything. Well, you still don't address anything any other creator has said about you. You're not saving me the embarrassment. You're saving yourself the embarrassment.
Yep. So yeah, that is basically my tipsy reaction to this video. I don't like DCP. I think that he has a lot of room to grow. I think that he should really take in other people's thoughts and advice, not just who subscribes to him and who's on his mod team. Josh, if you ever want to talk to me about anything, if you want me to come on your channel, if you want to come on my channel, I know I only have like 200 something subscribers, but I feel very strongly about a lot of the things that you've said and done, as other people do, and I think it's about time you start addressing the real issues, because you can go back and forth of these ad hominems and these, commenting on how people look and objectifying them. And you can say that somebody was coming after you when they really weren't. You can say somebody was coming after your family when they really weren't. You can do all of that. But it doesn't make you a man. It makes you a coward. It makes you nothing, really. You're not the dad of YouTube. You're the drunk uncle nobody likes because it's always a hot mess when you come around. You're the person that nobody wants to have a conversation with because you refuse to see anybody else's point of view. You refuse to be open to anybody else's perspective. So I can tell you right now, is your YouTube career going to flourish? I don't know. But are more and more people gonna get hip to who you really are in this moment? They sure are. So I suggest you make a change, and a big one. If you want clout, debate Apoc. I'm sure Apoc would love it. If you want the clout, let's have an all-out battle. You know, let's do it. I would love to see it. I'd pay money to see that. But you won't. Because you're a coward. And the reason for that is I think because you're not really ready to face the consequences of what you've done and said to and about other people. And if that's your position, you should just crawl into your side of YouTube and stop going after other people. Stop bringing other people into your drama and stop acting like you're better than everybody else. So I guess that's really all I have to say. This was kind of a hot mess because the situation is kind of a hot mess. I'm happy for this video to be over because the less time that I have to spend thinking about DCP, the better. Some of the things in this video I did not know. Apoc's channel, his original video will be linked down below. If you want to go give that a view without my commentary, you're more than welcome to. It will be linked down below. That's pretty much it. See ya.